do this in prime time. Under the bright lights for you on the sidelines. The fans in the stands keeping doubly bright high. The gridiron fly guys, the green and the gold, yeah, they call it the franchise. The gizmos, miles, the moves, the Kepleys, old spaghetti legs. Ricky Ray, Willie Bless, and whoever comes next to bring back the chip and add another brick to the legacy. Cause it's double E over everything. Double E is a legacy. Double E over everything. Double E, we rising up.
Coming off a bye, a change behind center is the hope for the Edmonton Elks. Fortunes will change early in this season. Cody Fajardo returns to Regina in a different green, battling his former club for the first time as he hopes to lead the Elks to their second win of the season, while the Elks defense is looking to get any sort of positivity to build off of, to march towards being the unit many hoped they would be at the start of the season. Elks Riders are Friday Night Football, but first, this is the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Matt Iwanyk, Jay Milne with you live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. Thank you to everyone for tuning in on our audio streams across all of our audio streams. EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, those watching on YouTube, as well as those who are, well, I guess this one actually isn't on podcast. So apologies, there is no podcast. I have no podcasters to thank because we never post this one on podcast. Elks Riders coming up just after 7 o'clock out in Regina at Mosaic Stadium as the Elks are coming off their bye week, as I said, looking for their second win of the season. Mr. Milne, how are you?
Matt, I'm doing great. A more of an appropriate question is, how are you?
Good.
I mean, this is, Reed and I have talked about it on our show, and I don't want to bring up too much attention to it, but I must say, this move is a lot, and you've been the guy at the helm. We've also been short-staffed this week.
So only two.
Well,
been dusty for a few days.
But I'm happy that they're getting, they need time off too. But I'm not saying that. It's just, you've been running this as a tight ship, and by all accounts, everything's going well. But it's now into the crunch time. And the move's happening Monday. And I think all the boxes, I think we've done a good job with that.
Yeah.
But it's now the little details like, who would have thought that these sticky notes would have posed such a problem? Our dearest Reed Wilkins, by the way, is in the corner as we speak, taking off these things, he's hitting overtime. So you're doing good?
Yeah. It's now just the small stuff, which I'm not going to lie, it's starting to annoy me a little bit of these small things that are just left around. And it's like, are we taking them or not? Like Dusty has all this stuff he'll have to pack this up if he wants whatever he wants or doesn't want, because he was supposed to do that. The stuff in this drawer I'm fine with because I can lock in, but there's just little things everywhere that I'm like, hey, well, are we taking this or are we not? Are we packing? Right. Are we getting rid of? Got a couple things to get rid of, donations. But beyond that, I think I'm good.
Well, you're doing a great job.
We have two TVs to get rid of. Oh, I got to keep that for the VIP golf show. Oh, and the morning show. Yeah, that one's staying. That TV's got to go tonight. A few other things I'm going to take tonight.
We need to watch the football game.
After. I'm going to stop tonight.
Are you?
Just quickly bring those over. Man, I want those things. I want certain things just out of here. I want when the movers come on Monday at 10 to be like, take all this stuff. And then I will have some boys cleaning up this area and then take these things. And when the hangout's done, take these things. And then we can go over. We can start getting things. I'm ready to be done in here. I can't wait for Thursday next week. Because then we're done.
Then you're done.
Keys are handed in. But this, looking at this, I'm almost getting, I don't like when things aren't done right. But I'm getting resigned to the fact that this isn't going to be done right. We just don't have time.
There are damage deposits in place for reasons, Matthew.
And I talked about on the Hangout, I'm getting a little annoyed about the complaints that we've received.
Well, I told you why I think that's happening.
Yeah, I know you did.
But all in all, this is going well. But here's I like to spin it to a positive side, is now you can put all your little tentacles out into that new office and set it up again. You have a second chance at setting up an office entirely again. Much bigger, much more space to work with.
You guys think there's much more space. There's not.
There's way more space.
Not for storage things. Not for storage things. Do you know that back closet? Completely full. I filled it out already.
There's more storage space. Take half of Dusty's office and turn it into storage. What's he even need an office for? I mean, really?
It's like we also need things to store things in. Like Dusty doesn't want us to take those two, or initially thought we don't need those two filing cabinets. We're taking them.
You're the coup.
We're taking those.
You're at a position where you don't need to ask. You just say they show up.
Well, he's going to be doing the lock shop anyway, so he's not going to be.
He's not going to be here.
It's like, I just want Thursday to come.
Okay.
Once Thursday is here, I'm done with this place.
You know what I want?
Like, even if she calls me, our landlord, I ain't answering.
I want 8:45 when we hit these airwaves again, or 9 o'clock, whatever it may be. Maybe 9:30.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. 3 hours.
Give about 3 hours for a football game.
And
usually
we're talking positive things, Matt. That's
I hope so too. We got to get into this. We'll start with the Edmonton Elks starting lineup. As I mentioned at the top, Cody Fajardo, the starting quarterback for this team. The men protect him from left to right. Ivy, Cordy, Beard, McKellar, Boyko, Rankin, the running back, Greens, the fullback, the receiving core, Dunbar Jr., Gittins Jr., Mathis, Julian Grant, and Smith. Defensively on the D-line, Barlow, Brinkman, Serezna, Taylor. Linebacking core, Morgan in between Anderson and Garns. And then in the secondary, the safeties, Logan Jr. On his sides are Jackson, Rose, Williams, and for Blanchard still kicks. Grace is your punter, and Javon Leak will be your starting returner for today's game. Jay, injury report.
Oh,
you didn't get that? You have to pull that up.
I know.
Royce Metier is on the 1.
Metier's on the 1.
Yep.
Devondrick Bynum's on the 6.
And Jake Srezna's there.
Jake Srezna's back. There it is. Boom. Look at that. That's how in tune and engaged I am. I don't need no stinking injury report.
For those watching on YouTube, they'll see the Saskatchewan Roughriders' entire depth chart. Trevor Harris is the starting quarterback. AJ Ouellette, who's having a real bounce-back season for the Riders this year, didn't exactly live up to the fragile signing that he was for the Riders last year, part of that being injuries. But he's there. Samuel Emelis, Keyshawn Johnson, some of the top receivers to deal with. Thurman in the middle linebacker spot. He's someone to pay attention to. And Milligan Jr., who could have potentially been the MOP last year. He's in that halfback spot for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Weather for tonight's game out in Regina. It is going to be a nice one. It is supposed to be a hot one. Right now it's 30 degrees with the Humidex. It feels like 35 degrees. By the time kickoff, or by the time the game is over, it'll drop to about 21 degrees with the Humidex 25 degrees. So it's going to be a beautiful night out in Regina for this football game. Oh, I disagree.
That's way too hot.
I think we get really hot weather here in Edmonton next week.
Deacon St. John in the nasty chat.
27, 28, 28 next week. Whew.
Run the damn ball! And I agree.
It's going to be a tough team to run against, though. On the show today, we'll get to our Play Alberta Game Day odds check. We'll hear from Mark Kilam speaking to the media yesterday out in Regina after making the decision to go with Cody Fajardo as his starting quarterback. We will get to our 3 stories of the game, our keys to an Elks victory, as well as a prediction for this game. But let's get to the question of the show that I threw up on Twitter. And I know Jay definitely hasn't seen this one yet because he was doing a show called The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne from 3 to 6, Monday through Fridays, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Is it the right move to start Cody Fajardo over Trey Ford? I have 3 options I added on Twitter. I know exactly where you're going, Jay, but yes, team needs a spark. I was short on characters, but start Trey on a short leash should have been what they've done. Or no, Trey needs more time as a starter.
Well, I know what my answer would be. I'm just curious to... I'm wondering what the general sentiment is on Twitter. I would imagine I would put option A, it's got to be at 70% or more. 60. Okay. So then the rest of them would go with mostly C.
Yeah, well, it's close. It's basically 21, 18, 19, like in that range for so Trey needs and then start Trey on a short leash. And
I'm not a big fan of the Trey starts with a short leash. Why would you do that? If you're saying, okay, we're going to start you, Trey, but if you screw up, yoink, how are you supposed to have any confidence as a quarterback if you know you're going in and that Cody Fajardo is sitting there waiting to take you out? If you have one bad drive or make a turnover, that you just cannot succeed with those kind of constraints put on you.
Well, the flip side, because that's where I would go with this. The flip side to me on that one is I think Trey deserves a chance to bounce back from that last game, because the 2 games prior, he played well. He had a perfect quarterback rating against the Ottawa Red Blacks, and against Winnipeg, he wasn't the reason they lost that football game. He had played a rather well game against Winnipeg, that he deserves a bounce back. But because of how bad it was, you can't have 3 straight 2-and-outs or something. You've got to be ready as a coach to make a change quickly. And that's why I would have started Trey Ford over Cody Fajardo.
Being around and being at practice and listening to what I'm hearing from people within that organization, I feel like this is maybe something that some would have liked to seen happen earlier, because I feel that there is an incredible amount of support and trust behind Cody Fajardo as the starting quarterback for this team right now. Now, there will be a day, Matt, when we're going to have serious conversations about the future of Trey Ford. That's not today. I'm not writing Trey Ford off. I'm not saying, let's get rid, none of that. Okay, albeit he is in his 4th year. Now, he hasn't been a starter. I get it. He wasn't, he wasn't the guy. He wasn't the general. He was given the ball this year. He was told, you're the guy. It's your job to lose. Well, guess what? In pro sports, you lose that job sometimes. Cody Fajardo has lost that job. Some of the best to ever play have lost their job as a starting quarterback. Okay? This is not the end of the road for Trey Ford. But for right now, for this club, what they need is a spark. They need somebody to take the ball and put together an offense that can win games. Matt, if they go out and they keep rolling it up with Trey, and let's say they put up a good fight tonight, but they lose, and they lose in double-digit fashion, then what's that do? That doesn't prove anything other than that you're just kicking the ball down the same road that you have been.
It depends how they lost that football game. If it is like that, Winnipeg game or something, I could look and be like, well, the defense just isn't good. It doesn't matter to me, the starting quarterback of this team, as long as the defense plays the way they play.
Oh, I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly with that, because the starting quarterback can make the defense's job much easier if that starting quarterback can put together sustained drives.
And I would agree with that most of the time, but not this season, because the Edmonton Elks defense consistently, when they are rested, which has nothing to do with the starting quarterback building a drive to allow the defense to rest or anything like that, have given up big drive after big drive after big drive. This defense isn't good. When this offense goes out and puts up points, this defense goes and follows it up with a big drive or a quick touchdown.
Yeah.
That's why most times I'd agree with that. But this year, from what I've seen from this defense, doesn't matter. If Cody Fajardo was out there doing what you hope he's going to do tonight, it wouldn't have changed how that defense was these last few weeks to start this season, because they would have they're rested and they still give up the yards. They still give up the plays. They're averaging almost 7 yards a play to start a half in 5 games this year. Over 40 yards of offense given up to start. Enough. That has nothing to do with the offense. That's a fair nothing point. To do with Trey.
That's a fair point. And yes, you are correct. Aside from Trey Ford and how he is, let's face it, he has not delivered. Okay? That's not the biggest storyline with this team. You are absolutely correct that the defense has been the biggest letdown for this team, given what was done in the offseason. What Ed Hervey went out and purchased in terms of star power, in terms of veteran leadership, they have underperformed. And I think anybody on that defense would tell you that. But I'm just saying, there is something to an offense that is competent is not the right word, because they have shown flashes of brilliance. And I mean, Justin Rankin, I'm not going to stop saying this. Justin Rankin can be one of the top running backs in this league. He has a very good per average carry at, I believe it's 5.8. That's gravy. If you are an offensive coordinator and your running back's getting 5.8 yards per carry, yet they are second last in the NFL or in the CFL in rushing attempts. That just blows my mind, but I digress. The defense needs to step up. However, an offense that can put together drives and put points on the board, Maddie. That's the key. put points on the board. Okay, now this is a team that's coagulating. They're working together. The defense says, I got you, offense. We're going to get you the ball back so you can go stuff it down their throats and put up more points. That works together. That's why football is one of the greatest team sports going. When you have momentum on offense, that builds momentum on defense. They play off each other. They do. So I feel that if Cody Fajardo in this offense can get rolling, you're going to see a defense that's a little bit more hungry tonight.
I would make a little bit of an argument, though, that works the other way, that if you're an offense that goes up, puts points, but then your defense gives up points right away, it kills that offense.
Nope.
Because you know that we have to score 40 to beat a team because they're giving up 35.
I understand what you're saying. I just, it works more in favor of the defense in that respect.
If the Elks go put up 32 points today, are they winning this football game? How many points is this defense giving up?
That's a great question. If they put up over 30 points, they should win the game.
That's not what I'd ask, though, will they? Because if with everything you're saying, if this Elks team puts up over 30 points, they should be allowing less than 30 points as a defense.
If the defense shows up, yes, they should win. If that offense can put up over 30 points, that defense needs to then answer the call and hold that Riders offense, which is quite aggressive and quite difficult to deal with. Then that's your defensive job. That's what you're supposed to do.
But I feel like after today, if the Elks score 30 plus points, I feel very confident that we still might be talking about a loss. And if it is, it proves that this defense just isn't good enough. And it doesn't matter what you do on offense. This defense needs to improve. And the fact that you got two young players now added to that secondary, because Meche and Bynum are out, that concerns me.
Well, and you're facing a team that likes to move the ball and push it downfield.
Both teams do not play well in the pass, in defending the pass. That should open things up for passing. That should open, like, if there's one thing, like, that should be favor the Elks more with a Cody Fajardo than it does Trey Ford when you're dealing with a team that can handle the run but can't handle the pass. I will say that.
Fair enough.
Cody Fajardo should have more opportunities to cook. But I think the other thing we might see tonight, Cody Fajardo might try to cook, but this Elks offense does not have a playmaking receiver. They have a really good receiver in Steven Dunbar.
Okay, hang on.
Does this team have a true number one receiver?
Yes, Steven Dunbar.
He's not a number one in this league.
Oh, I like on his team, he can be a number one guy. I'm not. I'm just. I don't know how to best put this, but I'm telling you, if you have a quarterback that can push the ball to you with velocity and accuracy, it turns mediocre receivers into talented receivers. They have not had that yet, Matt. I hate to say it, but they have not had that in Trey Ford. They have not had one guy. They have not one game where Trey Ford is completing 15-yard strikes over the middle within the numbers.
Against Winnipeg, Keon Julian Grant allowed the ball to go right through his fans. Yeah. Keon Julian Grant dropped the ball right in the end zone. I don't know how Cody Fajardo makes a better pass than those two that he received in that one game.
Right. That's one instance in which it was a terrible play by that receiver.
But in two different moments in that game by him in that.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that inside that locker room, and I'm not saying it, this is just what do you call it when you're just daydreaming? We're just shooting the breeze, you and I. Couple cool dudes on a Friday night, just having a convo, Maddie. Do you think that locker room right now, as they prepare for this game, is a more confident group than they have been in any of the other games this year? With knowing that Cody Fajardo is the guy taking the snaps.
Okay, just quickly, our audio stream got dropped like completely down. So anyone on our iHeart and all those streams, if you're hearing it very loud all of a sudden, I'm just fixing that. Something got bumped completely down. Well, they should have been confident after going into BC. There's no reason not to be confident going into the BC game. So I don't know why they would have more confidence this week than that game.
What was that score at halftime? 7-3 BC?
No, I'm talking about the first game, the last week.
Oh, last week.
They coming off a win. They should have been a very confident group.
You would think.
So I don't know if they're more confident today than they were going into that game. I don't know what would change why they wouldn't have been confident going in BC in Edmonton just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about Trey Ford's perfect efficiency rating. Mm-hmm. Okay, did he stretch the ball down the field? Did he work the middle of the field?
Has any other quarterback against the Ottawa Redblacks done a perfect passer rating this year? Has anyone in the Canadian Football League thrown a perfect passer rating in a game this year?
I'm not denying that it was good. I'm not denying that it was a massive.
He had 2 30-plus yard passes in that game, Trey Ford. Yeah, he did stretch it.
I just don't think. Okay, well then take into consideration who you're playing against.
Saskatchewan?
No, Ottawa.
What other quarterback has done that against Ottawa this year? Perfect passer rating.
Probably none.
Bo Levi Mitchell went against them back-to-back weeks. He didn't have a perfect passer rating.
How many yards passing did Bo Levi Mitchell have?
I could pull it up, but Trey Ford threw for 2 touchdowns, 212 in week 5. Last week, Bo only threw for 1 touchdown. 327, a touchdown interception. He threw for more yards, but he threw for less touchdowns and more interceptions in that game.
I just don't understand. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make a case for Trey Ford?
I said I would have started Trey in this game. I would have given him the opportunity to bounce back from the last game. I don't see why he's being thrown out after one poor game.
He's not being thrown out.
Well, for this week he is. And
you don't think that's the right decision?
When the weeks prior he wasn't bad. Sure, I don't know any other quarterback that's going to happen to in this league.
Well, I guess that tells you a lot.
Well, but it's also very important that they get the success of Trey Ford, because I don't care about winning in 2025. They're not winning in 2026 or 2027 if they can't get Trey going, because Trey Ford has $400,000 in hard money in 2027 committed to him that this GM gave him. They saw something in Trey to be a starting quarterback in this league, that they gave him a contract for $400,000 in hard money. You don't get out of that easily.
Well, yeah, you can release him.
That's hard money. That's on your books.
That was this year.
No, in 2027, $400,000 in 2027 is committed to Trey Ford by the Edmonton Elks. Not this year.
Football contracts are not guaranteed. That's not some quarter. He has guaranteed money this year.
They've added some things for guaranteed money in contracts for the Canadian football. Like Taylor Cornelius last year was being paid, or a couple of years ago was stuck with money. They've added some portions of guaranteed money in contracts over the last few years.
I'd have to look further into the contract, but I'll take your word for it.
If this organization doesn't believe in this guy, then they might be in a very difficult spot over the next couple of years.
I can't see
in a season where they could have went for Vernon Adams Jr. then. So that's where I understand that it was an horrendous football game. We saw the basement, the floor of what Trey Ford is as starting quarterback, and he needs to improve that and bring that up. But I also saw a ceiling of it where after Winnipeg and after Ottawa, neither of us were saying Trey Ford can't be a quarterback in this league. Neither of us were coming on the postgame show saying, wow, they won in spite of Trey Ford, or that was a close game against Winnipeg, but man, Trey cost them that game. We didn't say that about the Winnipeg game. Mm-hmm. And now one very bad football game, one of the worst football games you will see from a starting quarterback. No question about it. He doesn't get a chance to bounce back from that. That's what I'm not, if I was Mark Kilam, I wouldn't make that decision. But I stand by, it's not the offense I'm as worried about, it's the defense I'm more worried about.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I also will go with the offense and go, because look, I don't know as much as Paul LaPolice, but after that BC game, he went on SportsCenter with Jay Honor and he talked about why haven't we seen any packages with Trey Ford where it's designed runs by Jordan McSimic? Why haven't they designed an offense to best utilize his strengths?
Well, because what happened to Vernon Adams last night? Takes a random hit, didn't look like a bad hit, but he's out for the rest of the game. Their offense stalls. They don't have a backup quarterback, and
but this team does. So if that happens, if Trey gets hurt, you have Cody Fajardo go out there.
Yeah, fair enough. Why? Do you think Cody's a better quarterback? Dude,
I think he's a better quarterback than PJ Walker.
Do you think Cody Fajardo is a better quarterback than Trey Ford?
At this point in their careers, yes.
So why wouldn't you start Cody Fajardo?
Because at some point, this team needs to get their quarterback of the future figured out. And they chose to go with Trey Ford as the future of this organization.
What if he's not ready yet?
Well, then, yeah, you got to work and develop him. But one way to develop him is let him bounce back from a loss.
So what if he continually does not bounce back?
Well, then next week you switch.
So you're
That's
saying
why I said Trey Ford on a short lease.
Too early.
Yes.
Okay.
If they lose this week and they had started Trey Ford, because it's not even a week too early. Might be just a quarter too early.
Right. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I hate having that expectation or that awareness that that if you slip up, heaven forbid you throw an interception, because no quarterbacks ever do, you're out of the game. That's a hard world to live in as a starting quarterback.
Well, and he had that where he had one slip up in a game and he's out. And that was supposed to have changed this season, where he doesn't have to worry about a slip up because he has to develop. And as much as this organization needs to win this season, they can't afford to just win for one season at the cost of future seasons.
What if Cody Fajardo is the future quarterback of this?
He might be.
Right.
But at the same time, two organizations have already let him go.
Yeah. Usually money related, or usually newer quarterback coming in.
Well, Trevor Harris is older. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders are one of the best teams in the Canadian Football League. And the Montreal Alouettes, they found a younger one.
Yeah.
But the last two organizations, this is the third team for Cody Fajardo in what? Would that be 4 seasons? Does that not say anything?
Kelvin Van Dasselaar says, Matt is nailing threes here. He also says, QB mismanagement is the hallmark of this franchise. Charlie says Edmonton has to move on from their mistake, Matt, my opinion.
But here's the thing. Okay, let's say the Elks go out and have a loss tonight. What do you do from there? Who starts next week? Let's say it's the Saskatchewan covers 9.5. We got to get to our game day odds for Play Alberta. What if they cover? Saskatchewan covers. Elks lose by 10.
Yeah, that's problematic. I don't know what you do then, Matt. I don't. I honestly don't. This is game 6 of the season for this team, and they're throwing a prayer out. That's the way I look at it. And by prayer, I don't mean that's no slight. I think Cody Fajardo is by far a better quarterback than Trey Ford. By far. I understand your thoughts, though, about, well, then why did you offer that to Trey? Why did you come in and sign him as your future quarterback who you were going to groom and grow? I understand both.
Let Trey walk and then went for Cody Fajardo.
Could have. Yep.
Now the fan base wouldn't have been happy, but if you go win football games, people will be happy. That's what matters. But I don't want to, the Elks are not going to be successful by having one good season. That's not going to get fans back in the seats. 2 good seasons isn't going to do it. You need to be consistently good for 3 or 4 years in a row. Because this team was good in 14-15, but then they became bad again, or they went the other way. They need to be consistently good for an extended period of time. That's what's going to get fans back in the seats. And it's a worry for me that you're now possibly, because you then went and gave a contract, which I'd have to go look a little deeper in terms of the full guarantees of that. But the CFL has added some guaranteed money. And I just know hard money, it's for $100,000.
Scalding Gord says, Jay, in the CFL, a player can have up to 50% of their salary guaranteed in the final year of a multi-year contract if they re-sign with their current team. This provision introduced in the latest collective bargaining agreement.
Cornelius got that, which made no sense at the time anyways.
He also says, how many teams let Zach Collaros go? Never worry about how many have moved on.
No, but the difference with Zach Collaros was there was a health issue in that one. Zach Collaros, before his injuries, was one of the best receivers in Hamilton, would not have gotten rid of him, but then he dealt with concussion issues for an extended period of time, and he wasn't able to just stay on the field. And ever since he went to Winnipeg, he's been able to stay on the field, and he's back to being the Collaros that we all saw in Hamilton. I want to get to the Play Alberta game day odds check for Play Alberta. Download the app, visit them, playalberta.ca. ESD Sports, deposit 20, get a $50 free bet. YEG 50, deposit 5, get a $50 free bet as well. Jay's play of the day. It's at ESD Specials. What did you get?
I like Curly Gittens Jr. anytime touchdown scorer, so I asked them to boost it for me, which they always do. So that's now been boosted from plus 185 to plus 200. Curly Gittens Jr. anytime touchdown.
Dusty's play of the day is he's on the Riders for this.
I see that.
Trevor Harris 2+ passing TDs, and then Dante Myers 4+ receptions. That's boosted to 117. Lockshot partner parlay involves the Elks Riders being over 55 points. Argos plus 7.5 against the Bombers tomorrow. And then Bo Levi and Nathan Rourke both having 2+ passing TDs on Sunday. That's plus 750. But Jay and Matt's big play of the game. Are you ready for this?
This is a load.
Plus 505.
Hooey!
Elks plus 9.5. Cody Fajardo 225+ passing yards. Cody Fajardo 2+ passing TDs. And the Curly Gittens Jr. anytime touchdown. Just when it comes to the Riders, they are the second worst pass defense in the Canadian Football League with 329.2 yards given up per game. The Elks are 330. So basically, they are the same pass defense as the Edmonton Elks. Cody Fajardo, he's a better quarterback right now. He should be able to get 225. I
like that play, Matty.
And I think that this game is going to hit the over, which means I do like Cody Fajardo having a couple touchdown passes thrown tonight.
We've hit on some of these big ones before. We hit early. Can you imagine if this is done? Like, so what if Cody Fajardo's passing touchdowns happens to Curly Gittens Jr.? That's huge. If
Cody's at 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 to Curly Gittens at halftime, I'm feeling really good.
We're feeling good because that means they're probably covering.
They're probably, they're keeping it close enough that they're covering 9.5.
I like that. That's a good one. That's a good sprinkler because on a plus 505, I mean, you put $10, that's $50, $55. That's good money.
The Edmonton Elks are plus 316 on the money line. The spread is 9.5. That opened weirdly at 14 points or something.
Yeah.
It was a very short period of time. It went to 9.5. It has stayed at 9.5 until yesterday. It went to 8.5.
I never saw that.
I saw it this morning.
Okay. But now
it's back to 9.5.
Huh.
So that the line doesn't really change when it comes to Cody and Trey.
Well, that says maybe I'm full of it.
Well, that just says that maybe you're not full of it. Again, you might be completely right on the offense. You might be completely right on that this team is just much better, going to be much better offensively than Cody Fajardo. What that's telling me is that they don't believe in the Elks defense.
Fair enough.
That they're on that side where they don't believe in the Edmonton Elks defense at all. Play Alberta, playalberta.ca. He's Jay, I am Matt. This is the Green and Gold Kickoff Show, live right here from Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Our last time in these offices, doing it here. You'll do it without me next week.
Yeah.
In the new offices. So I don't even know how it's going to be. And then actually, I'm not even there. We're not there for the next one because we're at Nasty Bash.
That's right.
I won't be in the new office for quite some time with the Green and Gold Kickoff Show.
That's sad. I'm going to miss you next week.
You've got some nice people with you, though.
I do.
A fun time. It will be a fun time. Elks Riders coming up just after 7 o'clock. You can watch that one on TSN. Let's get to
I must tease.
If you wish, please.
Well, I'll be joined by a former member of the Double E. I'll tease, Matt.
Okay.
I'll tease. A former friend and a former
friend.
Ooh, no.
This isn't going to go well next week.
A good friend of mine, former Eskimo, Grey Cup winning member of the team, will be joining me next week, Saturday afternoon, as the Elks get ready to play the game.
I do want to complain about Tommy right now quickly.
Uh-oh. What'd Tommy do? He's not even here.
In our group chat.
Uh-oh.
Look what he sent. It's the long drink peach.
Oh my gosh.
He's rubbing it in my face, it feels like.
What a jerk.
It looks so good.
Everybody's sending their...
Yeah, Eric's got his Bohemian. Hernan's got a Chilean red. You send yours there. But we got to get to it. Okay, here's the thing. Storyline number 1 is Cody starting. We've already hit one storyline of this game. So we don't have to continue with storyline number 1.
And you know what I must say? I appreciate the spice you brought, baby. Maybe we should move a little more. I think we had a
wonderful, healthy...
It's a good, healthy conversation.
It was a healthy debate on the Edmonton Elks between you and I that we're on differing sides.
Because here's the thing. It doesn't... Both of us probably have points that are correct, right? And it's a story that will unfold and tell itself eventually. And as of right now, I think for the sake of this fan... The Double E fans, there needed to be a change, Maddie.
Can I say if? Oh, and did I? Oh, yeah, we did go through the percent of the poll. Here's what I hope: we're both right in a sense.
Okay, I agree
Cody
with that.
goes off and has a couple of really good weeks for this Elks team. Gets him a few victories. Maybe there would have for this to happen. There'd have to be a couple stumbles later on. Trey comes back in, and Trey takes the bull by the horns.
Yep.
And plays well enough that there's no reason to take him out as we go into next season. And next season happens, he's the starting quarterback, and we never have a conversation about whether he should be the starting quarterback of this team. Wouldn't that be lovely?
It would be. I mean that. It would be.
It would be great.
It would be the perfect story.
I don't want the Elks to lose today.
Nobody does.
I don't want Cody Fajardo to have a bad game today.
No. And you want this team to try and turn it around.
It would be great if this is, like, honestly, even if this is the end of Trey and Cody's the guy that's going to bring this team to a Grey Cup, and it's multiple, and then the seasons I said where you're good for a couple of, maybe that starts tonight. And if that's the case, that's the case. And to one degree, when it comes to Trey Ford, you had your shot, and to a degree, you blew it. There was some of that too.
Yeah.
You gave a reason for the coaching staff to not go to you this game. That's ultimately what it was. And I don't care about any other game. 2 weeks ago against BC, he had one of the worst games as a quarterback ever in the Canadian Football League. Just that simple.
Yep.
And this league's been around for a very, very long time. Before I continue with the two storylines, I do want to throw out there the Labor Day bus. Edmonton Elks and ourselves, Edmonton Sports Talk, we have teamed up together to have a bus down to Calgary for Labor Day. We'll have two buses. There'll be the Trey bus and the Cody bus.
Oh, don't start that.
You could be on a Cody bus and I'll be on a Trey bus.
That would be fun, maybe. We'll see.
My spot will fill out a lot quicker than Jay's bus.
I don't know. It depends how things go, brother.
That's a really good point too. $150 plus GST, but if you use promo code EST Labor Day, it's $125 plus GST. It involves round trip on a Red Arrow bus from Commonwealth down to McMahon Stadium and back. 2 Canadian Club drinks. We'll stop in Red Deer for you to quickly grab a bite or grab something for the rest of the journey to Calgary. We'll get to McMahon Stadium, enough time for you to go to tailgate, and then we'll all sit together in McMahon Stadium. Jay and I will be there as well. We'll do our pregame show from there. We'll do the postgame show. Jay and I won't be on the bus back. Dusty's going to drive us back. But it's going to be a fun time. There'll be pizza on the way back as well. Head to edmontonsportstalk.com. At the very top, it says Labor Day bus. Click that. I'll take you to the Elks website. And that is where you can sign up for this as well. What do I have to say? Myself, you, Jasmine, Hernan,
Coop.
Eric, Coop. I think that's all who's locked in. And I don't think I can let anyone else on because we're getting a few spots for the ESTers.
Do we know where we're doing our pregame show?
No, that's August Matt's problem.
Okay.
Present Matt's problem's about a move.
That's true. Forgive me.
Come January or come August, I'll message the Stamps to see if they can do. Actually, well, speaking of that, Dave in Section T, and I'm waiting to hear from the Elks on this one because they have to talk to the Stamps. He wants to tailgate down there.
Why wouldn't he be able to?
Well, we need a spot. But we could bring him I haven't told him this yet. We could bring his stuff, but he wants to tailgate down there. How great would that be? Not only Edmonton Elks taking over McMahon Stadium, but the Edmonton Elks were taking over their tailgate spot. That would be a lot of fun. EdmontonElks.com. Click on Labor Day bus. I will get into that one. I'll have to find which one you're talking about. You want to get to a second storyline for this
Let's
game?
do it.
Oh, we kind of did so much in our conversation there. I guess defense is the other story for this game. Do you think... Okay, I think the other storyline is the fact that you've got Ross and you've got Logan Jr. sitting in the cornerback in the free safety spot. You've got... Do you mind if I see this quickly for a second? Mm-hmm. I just want to see something. Ross is a rookie this season. And so is Logan Jr. How concerned are you with 2 rookies in the secondary for the Edmonton Elks?
Well, here's what I will say. Have the players that have been there been doing much better?
No.
Specifically, Devondrick Bynum. I already took care of it.
I see which one you're talking about now. Sorry.
Specifically, Devondrick Bynum.
Sorry, Big UCAD. That would be quite the choice, the Trey and Cody bus. I like Trey, but do I want to ride on a bus with Maddie? Decisions.
This is true. And keep it nice in the nasty chat. Jeez.
But yeah, so
I don't know. And to be honest, Matt, has Royce Metier been blowing your hair back?
no, I feel like as a safety, I've seen him get burned too much.
Yeah, as a safety, you should be involved.
Well, you should be at least
maybe not in the run game,
not
but
allowing
in the,
the big plays. I think we've seen too many big plays where he's chasing and he's not there to contain the broken down play. Now, some of those you've pointed them out as I'm watching you that he's not in. It's not he's in the wrong, bad position, but just based on the way the play is, he can't get there naturally. But I just feel too many times that we've seen big plays, he's chasing and he's not, and it's a big touchdown or whatever, and he's not able to contain it. And I would like to see a safety be able to contain that to just a big gain and not a touchdown.
I mean, out of this secondary, who's been somebody that's been,
the closest is Terrell Ford.
I know, which is odd, but it makes sense because you haven't heard his name.
Right. Even though there have been moments where we've seen errors from him that I don't think have been highlighted enough.
Yep.
Where poor tackling choices or, you know, I've seen him beat on a couple of touchdowns, but for the most part, he's been quiet. So they've left that side of the field. But also when you have guys like a Bynum or a Rugamba, it's easy to target the other side because it's easy yards. So now I'm assuming Trevor Harris is going to be targeting Ross early.
He should be.
This is a big sink or swim moment for the Edmonton Elks defense.
Absolutely.
But what makes the football great is this is sometimes where you find that player. This is sometimes where a player steps up, produces, and you go, whoa, who is this guy? And all of a sudden, Bynum can't get back in the lineup because Ross is playing too well in the other corner spot.
Well, hopefully for the sake of this team, that is the case, Maddie. But yeah, if you're Trevor Harris, you're licking your chops, looking at a guy that just got signed off the practice roster all but 10 days ago to come in, and you're going to be picking on that. Now, listen, here's where issues on defense start. You can point all the fingers you want at the secondary. And as a former member of the secondary, this is not surprising that this is my take. But if you look at the teams in the CFL that are getting it done on defense and you know what they're doing? They're consistently applying pressure with 4 players. The front 4, they are not bringing a blitz necessarily. They're getting pressure naturally with 4 players, which allows you to keep an extra player or have an extra different coverage scheme other than 0. 0 for this team has been problematic. And I don't see that changing considering you have 2 fresh faces in the secondary. Jake Serezna, Jared Brinkman, Barlow, and Taylor need to step up in a big way because they simply put have not been doing it enough. Jake Serezna has had his moments. Jared Brinkman has had his moments, but that needs to be consistent.
Well, the Edmonton Elks defense so far this season is the league worst at 3 sacks through 5 games.
Yep. That's a problem.
That's a big problem.
That hangs your secondary out to dry fast.
And that was supposed to have been the unit of the defense that was going to get going early because they did it in Toronto last year together outside of Noah Curtis. And Noah Curtis is even playing this year because he got hurt at Fan Day. So 75% of this D-line, and now Robbie Smith is hurt, is going to miss another game this week. But for parts of this season, 75% of the defensive line is coming to Edmonton this year. And they were the best unit last year. They did it.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they're not able to do it. It makes me question what has gone on. And sometimes then maybe it leads to, is this a defensive coordinator position? I don't know if you heard Nick Anderson on with Hernan and Gager this week. He talked about how, from a defensive player perspective, they're not executing enough.
Yeah. And
they better start executing then. Because if they believe this is an execution, if the players know this is on them, well, the problem for you as a player is simple. If you're not going to execute, Ed Hervey's going to go try to find someone else then who can.
Yep.
You know, we saw a QB change this week. If things don't go well tonight, might be time to see if there's any other changes that could be made, but on the other side of the football.
You think so? Like coaching wise,
player wise? On the defensive side, player wise.
Right.
You can't make a defensive coordinator change like that. I don't believe. The only thing I would want to see if you're Ed and Mark Kilam and you think that JC Sherritt maybe needs some help, you bring in him a consultant, somebody that can help develop him as a defensive coordinator.
Any names you'd like to throw out there?
No.
Well, you're a big Chris Jones fan defensively.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think anybody
would. I was a
would.
fan of him as a head coach too.
Any reasonable
until last year
person that watches football would know that he is best at that role. He got stretched out thin, which caused problems. But I look, JC Sherritt is a first-year defensive coordinator in the CFL. There's going to be growing pains there too. And Calvin C says, Matty J, is it wrong to see this year as year one of a rebuild, or are there higher expectations? I think both are right.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
I think you can say both are right. There is growing pains expected in a first-year head coach, a first-year defensive coordinator. Look, you can have all the faith you want in Mark Kilam and JC Sherritt, but this is their first year at the helm. So I think both can be right, but obviously you still have high standards for this team, especially on defense, where you went out and spent a lot of money to bring in a lot of veteran players who simply have not been getting the job done to this point.
Well, Cody Fajardo was on this wonderful program this week from 3 to 6 in Edmonton Sports Talk. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, the Reed Wilkins Show with James.
Oh, I've heard of it.
He talked about, he said, I don't want to make excuses for the record that it is, but brand new offense for this team, brand new defense for this team, brand new special teams for this team, like all three facets of the game, but it's brand new. And if you look, I think the way he was wording it, and I'm paraphrasing Cody with you guys, was you look at the teams that are successful and they have returning players, they have returning systems. And the Edmonton Elks defensively have a lot of new faces, offensively a few new faces, and systems all new.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time to develop that and grow that.
Absolutely.
There's your 3 stories of the game.
Can I say one thing, though?
No, we're moving on. Just kidding.
Next up on the Green and Gold Kickoff Show, I want to say this. I think this needs to be said about Mark Kilam. Do you think that whether this decision is right or ultimately proves out to be wrong, do you give any credit to him for making a decision like this early in the season as his first year as a head coach? Because it could have been easy to say, well, maybe I don't want to disappoint, or I don't want to, or do you say, good for you for having the stones to at least have the conviction to make a decision, to make right or wrong? I know we're on different sides of the fence when it comes to Fajardo and Ford. Does he not at least deserve some credit in this instance for making that decision? Or is that just, hey man, you're the head coach, you got to make those decisions?
That's kind of the job.
I think that you can have, once again, a little bit of both is true in the fact that you could see maybe a rookie head coach, maybe a little bit afraid of upsetting the apple cart.
Sure.
Too much.
But at the same time, I'll look at it like last week, he didn't make the poll soon enough.
Well, and from his words, he said it was because they simply didn't have the ball in the third quarter.
But they did.
They did. And I agree with you. It could have been way
There was a couple times we looked at each other and said, why is Trey in this game still? Why aren't they going to Cody? The Edmonton Elks in that third quarter, because I would have pulled them after the first drive of the second half. I think, would have pulled them after the first half. They had 3 drives in the third quarter. He had 2 other opportunities in the third quarter to make that switch. I don't buy that one.
Yeah, it should have been at half. But that's in the past. What are we going to do about it? Stealth Legend, because of our management and coaching before Kilam and Hervey and Morris, Jones did a terrible job with Ford's development when Jones was still here.
Jones did a lot of bad for different reasons as well. Let's just say that one with that. And it's Ed was on the morning. I'm just promoting all you guys. No point am I saying on the Hangout. Ed was on with Dusty and Eric this week, and he talked about if there's one thing when it comes to the team is that they needed to make changes when it comes to the type of players in the locker room that they needed to bring in, and that's what he's happy with, and that's where it starts. So that's how you build that culture, is getting the right guys in the locker room. Sometimes that's what it takes to start when it comes to this rebuild. He's Jay, I'm Matt. Let's hear a little bit of Mark Kilam, head coach of the Edmonton Elks in Regina yesterday, speaking to the media after the decision was announced that he will be going with Cody Fajardo tonight.
decision to sit Trey Ford and start Cody Fajardo?
Yeah, simple answer. Football team's looking for a spark. That's why we made the quarterback change.
And what do you think Cody brings to the lineup that maybe Trey was lacking for your offense?
They're two different guys. I mean, first and foremost, Trey wasn't the sole reason why our football team is where it is, and I wanted that to be clear. I mean, there's 11 other guys on the field with him. We expect them all to execute and perform. But Cody is, he's a veteran presence. He's seen, all the looks that there is to see. He brings a little bit of a different energy, and the offense looks a little bit different when he's running it.
Can you explain the levels that this went to in terms of what went into this decision? Because it seemed like Larry liked Trey Ford a lot. You guys gave Trey Ford that starting quarterback kind of money too.
Yeah, I mean, we still like Trey Ford too. Let's be really clear with that. And this is not the end of Trey Ford. He's one play away from playing again. We are going to continue to develop Trey Ford. Trey has things that he needs to work on that he knows that we've communicated, and we're going to commit to developing those things. I think it was more of we did a deep dive into our football team of things that we wanted to do better or look different, and we set up the week the way we did with them competing, and ultimately we made the call to make the change.
The quarterback split a bunch of reps throughout the week here. Do you think that maybe is a hindrance to them that they didn't get full reps this week, Cody?
Well, I mean, Cody would take 400 reps if he could. You know what I mean? And that's that. I like that player wants to be selfish in his development that way. You know what I mean? But the other thing about that is, those guys were complete professionals with the way that we set the week up, and they deserve all the props for handling it the way they did. They were supportive of each other. Obviously each one would want to have more reps, but that's the way it shook out.
You said the team needs to find a spark. What have you seen this week that you think your team does find it here in Saskatchewan?
I challenged the guys early in the week. We really wanted to up the level of competition in practice. We wanted to up the level of urgency in practice, and we put 3 days back to back to back, but we've got to carry it forward into this game.
How nice is that?
And there's Mark Kilam, portions of at least Mark Kilam with the media yesterday in advance of the Elks Riders, which is coming up just after 7 o'clock down at Mosaic Stadium. It's Mosaic Stadium at Taylor Field. Is it still called that? No, it's not at Taylor Field anymore.
I don't think
that was
so.
The old place. You ever get to a game at the old place?
Played there.
Yeah, I guess.
Never watched it. Actually, Dusty and I called a game from there back in the day.
They flew you out for a game?
Yeah. That's
No
when
way.
they used to fly to Regina.
Oh.
That was when Chris first came in.
Went to 3 games, I think. There was great.
I'll never forget it. Brett Ralph scored the game-winning touchdown late in the game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was fun.
Used to do tokens. I had to buy tokens to get your beer.
Dusty and I shared a bag of cheesies on the way down. Hawkins.
Oh, great cheese.
Yeah,
Great from the freezer.
that's the only way, brother. Rest in peace.
He's Jay. I'm Matt. This is Edmonton Sports Talk. I was just trying to think where I'm going. Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Just a few more minutes left. We got to get to our keys to a victory as well as a prediction for this one. Reminder, we will have the post-game show for you as soon as this game ends as well. Coming up on our audio streams, we will also have the Edmonton Stingers action. Coob, where are they? Winnipeg taking on the Seabears. Thank you very much. I should have maybe looked into that. But that's why Coob is here.
It's like when you're talking to Coob, he's way up there because he's taking things off.
He's on a chair. I'm not
trooper.
I'm not looking up to heaven to see what Coob has to pass down on me. Oh, he's been great. He's going hard.
One of the shining stars of this move has been the Coobinator.
I will say the Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne is a very impressive trio when it comes to this move. I'm very happy with what I've seen from the three of you. Your key to an Elks victory? Defense,
step up, play. Take the ball away.
Yeah, I was looking at prediction, but
if you can win the turnover battle tonight, I think you win maybe not win the game, but you have a much better shot at winning the game. Maddie, I feel this game is winnable. You said that early in the week. I wasn't disclosing it on our show, but I said there was somebody in this office that was optimistic about an Elks victory this week, and that person was you.
Yeah, and Calgary ruined it.
Why?
Because I parlayed it.
Oh. I mean, Calgary losing, I think,
I put money on the Elks at like plus 800 or 500 when it was the minus 14 still or whatever.
Well, let's roll, baby.
I should have just done the Elks. I don't know why I parlayed that one. Thank you, Calgary.
Defense show up, win the turnover battle, and this is a winnable game. If the defense continues to play the same way they have and just allow second down conversions, they don't have a shot. I don't care if you have Tom Brady back there. The defense needs to show up.
You took one of mine, which would have been, it's the turnovers on defense. You know, they're just not getting turnovers. And that's where a lot of these games are, you know, put the Elks offense in a great position. Put them at the 40-yard line of the Riders to start a drive.
Yeah.
Put them in that type of spot to go put up some points. You know,
Hasn't happened much.
you want to talk about the offense giving a boost to the defense. Give yourself a boost. Go turn the ball over. You know, go force Trevor Harris to make a mistake. To me, the key, and I want to do something offensively, but you know, I guess it'd be protect the ball, but I have to go back to defensively. But I think the key is you have to get to Trevor Harris, which isn't an easy thing to do, but we've seen this. And
Good one.
Armando Sewell talked about this when he was an Edmonton Eskimo at the time. And you see it when Trevor Harris, when you can hit him a few times in the first half, he crumbles the rest of the game.
Well, that's a good key to the game, Matty.
And he has such a quick release. It's not an easy thing to do.
Easy.
But it's one of those, if they can get to Trevor Harris, I do believe they'll find a way to win this football game, because I think then that's going to lead to, I think then we'll see a couple of interceptions. I think they'll be able to force some turnovers.
Is it worth a 15-yarder?
A 15-yarder?
Penalty.
Oh, no, not like that. Like, I think you just, even if, you just got to knock him on his butt a few times.
Yeah. Get to him.
Yes.
Make him uncomfortable in the pocket. Arms around him. Make him, you know, feel uncertain in the pocket. And you have a shot. This game is, as much as we've hyped and talked about, I mean, half the show was spent on quarterback. This game is a lot more about defense than anything else.
I got to order pizza right away.
Okay.
What's your prediction?
Coob's eyes lit.
Yeah, I've got 2 mediums coming, so there's lots coming.
Let's upgrade those to larger.
Well, no, there's 2 mediums, there's wings, and
Oh,
there's
yeah,
bread.
right.
I got lots of food coming. I also got strawberries if you like some strawberries, or blueberries.
My honest opinion, my honest belief tonight, 31-28 Elks.
We shall see. Elks, Riders, about 10 minutes away out in Regina as the Elks look for their second win of the season. Cody Fajardo getting the ball for the Edmonton Elks. He's Jay Milne. I'm Iwanyk. Thank you to everyone for listening in to the Green and Gold Kickoff Show right here in Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. As I mentioned on our audio streams, we will join the Stingers in progress as they are taking on Winnipeg. But Jay and I will be on right after this football game, breaking it all down right here on Edmonton Sports Talk across all of our audio streams on YouTube as well. We'll put that one up on podcast. Enjoy the football game to each and every one of you. On behalf of Jay, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning into the Kickoff Show. We'll talk to you once it's over.